I think it's good to get excited for eclipse, because otherwise you might get a little like dreading an eclipse. And I find that that's not the greatest habit to get into. I tried. And not as fun, and also I think, just not as useful to, on one level there is, in the basketball world they would say against your opponent you have like appropriate fear. And so in this context it would be more like, okay, if you know the weather is going to be stormy, you kind of prepare for that in whatever way makes sense. But it doesn't mean it's going to suck, And it could be super cool, Like cool bolts of lightnings off in the distance, and you get to witness the magnificence of life. But with astral weather, it's more subtle, much, much more subtle. So much so that the average person won't notice. And yet, all of us are affected by it. How would we not be? When the sun and the moon and the earth, sun is, in Vedic astrology, sun is the spirit, the soul, the atma, that which never dies, that part of us. But the moon is our mind. That's why they put more emphasis on the moon, actually. The soul's transcendent, but it's the moon that determines the quality of our life and whether we're able to be happy. And actually at the most subtle level, a more subtle level at least, who knows what the most subtle level is, not me, as it always seems like blossoming, opening and opening and opening. I don't pretend to know the extent of things, nor am I trying to. But I am trying to enjoy the extent of things and doing better and better all the time. And the key is to be able to enjoy also difficult things. And of course, if your heart is breaking, you're not really enjoying it, so to speak, but yet, yes, you can at some level, because even when our heart is breaking, it's not actually breaking. If we've got our life right, our heart is opening. And this is about getting our life right, not by somebody's rules or somebody's doctrine, but by our own inner experience. We know when our life is right. Each one of us are sovereign enough to kind of be the judge of that for ourselves. But to have nice tools like this, to tune your instrument, to get the mind, and the earth is the body, sun is the soul, moon is the mind, but not really your thinking mind as much. That's a little more Mercury. What we're talking about, the moon is the emotional mind, the subconscious mind, the heart, the waters of the body, the waters of the mind. And how do we feel? Do we feel at peace or not so much? This is the moon. So, when a shadow goes over the moon, definitely it changes the gravitational field at some level. That's not too hard to believe. We know the moon and it's affecting the tides of the ocean. We know it has a magnetism. And we know we have magnetism. We have electromagnetic field for sure. So to get so just hypnotized by materialists to think that subtle things are not real, it's like, what a drag. The best things are subtle, When you just know something, when you're in love and you just know something about each other, but you could never explain it to anyone. How can you explain it? Only the two people that are in love, in that case, know what that is. And you try to tell your girlfriend or your bro, or your mom or your dad or your friends, whatever, and yet nothing can quite describe it, right? So the subtle things are where the juice of life is, that which we all know and yet we can't say. And then when that's what we're all about, as we age, we get happier and we get even more beautiful. And our radiance shines and shines and shines, even if the body, is getting older. But we can keep using Ayurveda, keep our bodies beautiful, keep taking good herbs to give ourselves good vitality, knowing the herbs to take in the winter, knowing the herbs to take in the spring, the summer, and the autumn. Simple things that do a whole lot. And then use great yoga practices, tune your instrument, keep your mind happy. And eclipses are a wonderful time to be thinking about these types of things. So eclipses are pretty cool. They're not the best time. They say don't propose. If a job offer comes on the day of the eclipse, like, there's some suspicion around it. These types of things. That's why people don't like them. But people tend to fear the things that cause the material world to get disrupted. But if you're the type of person that you don't mind if the material world gets disrupted, then eclipses are A-okay. Yet that doesn't mean they're always easy. I'm not trying to be like overly confident either, because it's real. And then especially in this where it's like Saturn is really involved, always it's nice to have a kind of a devotional or humble disposition towards the forces of nature, like a hurricane or earthquake, things like this. And the thing is, to me, the key is, along with tuning the instrument, meditative mind, is to get the heart to try to turn it inside out a little bit. And that instead of being overly concerned with my own predicament and my own needs, my own aspirations, of course I am concerned about them, naturally I should be, but overly concerned to where my orientation is total self-orientation and lost connectivity to others' orientation, to be concerned for the others in the world, to be concerned for the others in my immediate life. And it's easy, especially when we've been under a lot of stress or even trauma. It's easy to get stuck in total self-orientation, understandably so, but eventually in order to heal, one has to get into others' orientation, because your life is about helping, life is about adding, life is about creativity, and we're all interwoven with each other. So if I'm creative in some helpful way, you might benefit, and if you're creative in some helpful way, I might benefit. And so we all are interwoven with each other. In that way, our plight is the same. And so then, voila, magical. When we get concerned for others, our personal situation starts to improve. Try, It's easy though, even if we've experienced that before, it's easy to forget. But if you're really having a hard time, see how you can help somebody. And so, being respectful just means appreciating the awesomeness of nature, the awesomeness of life, and to endeavor to continue to have awe at the situation. That's the problem to me with people who think they know everything that's going on, and they know exactly who's pulling the strings behind things in like the world of the governments and this type of thing. You figured it all out. There's no more awe, So, yeah, maybe some things we can tune into, some things we're concerned about, some of us. I'm not poo-pooing any of it. I'm just saying, don't forget to enjoy. Don't forget to be curious. Don't forget to be open to endless possibilities. Yeah, more in this conspiracy of the Buddha, where actually everything is endeavoring to open you up into some type of, this is my interpretation of the conspiracy of the Buddha, the tantric vision of actually all, even positives and negatives, are ultimately, at a transcendent level, they're ultimately opening you up to a supreme reality of love. For lack of a better, we can't actually say what it's that thing. We know it, but we can't say it. So we can say love, and that points to it, but it doesn't fully. Like Bob, my dear friend and mentor, attendant Bob Thurman, told me one time that teachings are great as long as the teacher remembers that the teachings are always, short in comparison to the amazing grace of real reality. And so from there, that's why we go now into a practice and circulate the prana and get the channels open. And then the mind goes into more its creative, intuitive space. It's not some special effect that you don't have, or that this is natural for human beings, but it's appreciating the magnificence of the human instrument and not getting so hypnotized by the density of life that one loses track of that, and thus one loses track of their joy, one loses track of meaningfulness in life, and then one has to resort to outside things to maintain a feeling of content, of meaningfulness, and that steals our vitality. And so if you generate the content from the inside, then you can enjoy all the things of the world within reason, and really be in inside joy, enjoyment, to be inside joy. And not only can you enjoy the pleasures of the world, in a certain way you enjoy them more because you're not mistaking them for something that they're not, which is they're not a source of ultimate fulfillment. And yet the things that, because our hearts hurt, we're just looking for love. And so here's some love, and he grasped on it. After a while, it just slipped away, and left with like a heartbreak. And then he had the goal, the career goal, and he did it, went after it, boom, made it, and then slipped away. Say, wait, what I thought was going to make me happy, in retrospect, not realizing it at the time, what I thought was going to solve my heart longings and make me feel full, complete, such as like success of a goal or a dream, then you did it, and it was great, but you're kind of still the same, You bring along all the same habits. And so if I feel stressed because I don't have enough money, even when I get enough money, at first it's going to be like, boom, it's going to feel like a lot of problems have gone away. But wait for that even if you get in a new relationship with money, there's a honeymoon phase. Like you have more money than you've ever had in your life. Anybody who's gone through that process can vouch, I think, to this. And at first it alleviates a lot of the problems. Say there's a lot of relationship stress, and then you got some money, like you're a couple, and you didn't have any money, and then you got some money, you're gonna fight a lot less for a little bit. But those same habits are gonna emerge back after the honeymoon phase disappears. So the good news is, there's something underneath there that you can work with that actually will make you happy by transforming those patterns. And the reason the relationship's amazing is because it reveals those patterns to you, whether it's a love relationship, a relationship with your work, any type of relationship. So during an eclipse season, we have the eclipse, lunar eclipse, then we have the spring equinox 1 week from now, and then 2 weeks from now, we have the new moon solar eclipse. This is a magnificent time to be kind of transforming those inner patterns and do like a spring cleaning. It's also an excellent time to clean the house. Eclipse is a great time to clean up, get rid of the clutter, this type of thing. And guess what? It's a little work, but you're going to feel great because you did it. So eclipses aren't so bad, especially if you're willing to work. Work a little bit. Do meditation practice. Maybe not every once in a while, like every day for a period of time. Try it 40 days. It's amazing. And it develops something with you that you take with you forever, even if you don't continue that meditation. And so eclipses are amazing for those types of things. And if you lean into them, as opposed to kind of mostly resisting them, but I know it's good for me. But not only is it good for me, but it's kind of cool and it's fun and it's mystical, and every day it puts you into this nice space where you feel in the zone. Why not? Okay, let's do some exercises, and we're going to do this wonderful, beautiful meditation. Come onto the hands and knees. I got my friends with me here. We're in Life Force Academy in studio in Northern California, to wherever you are. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Best easy way to stay in touch with us. Hit the subscribe button here. You'll see our videos when they come up. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button. It'll help more people see it, help the channel grow. I appreciate you watching.